What's up everybody, it's Sailor Pauli here. I am bringing you a quick how-to video on sheet-to-tiller self-steering for downwind with a jib. If you haven't subscribed already, do it! I need 1,000 subscribers before I can live stream on the water. Now, let's get started. There are 4 different pieces of equipment that you're going to need in order to self-steer your sailboat using the sheet-to-tiller method. The first thing you're going to need is a 20-foot, 1/4-inch sheet-to-tiller line. This you're going to have to attach to your jib sheet and then run it through a bunch of blocks all the way along your gunnel, down to the cockpit, and then back to your tiller. The second piece of equipment you're going to need is a tail block. And this is basically just a small block attached to about a 5-foot length of rope. This is 1/4-inch rope in this case. Now, you could use all kinds of blocks for sheet-to-tiller, and you can just tie them onto stanchions or you can tie them to a cleat. If you don't have a stand-up block in the right location, maybe you could install a cleat there and then you can tie a block onto that cleat. There are many different ways you can achieve having blocks on your boat. The third piece of equipment you're going to need is the elastic. Now the elastic is simply a 5-foot length of 3/8 surgical tubing. In the middle of that, I tied a 3/16 line about 3 feet long. And then on the ends, I used zip ties and made tiny loops. And then these are going to attach to your tiller. Now in light wind, you'll maybe only use one of these straps, but in heavier winds you'll attach the second one to double the elastic's power. The fourth piece of equipment you're going to need is a tiller. Once I round this marker, I can go more my course heading, which is to that ferry, 165. So here we go. We're going to start adjusting our course. Got 9 feet of water. Yeah, so at this point I'm using my tiller extension to sort of hold the course a little bit while I tighten my jib halyard, and then I'm going to snug up my jib downhaul. You pretty much want to get your sails mostly set on your course, and then you're going to open up your 20-foot long 1/4-inch line, which is the control line, the sheet-to-tiller line. I'm gonna run it through the windward blocks and keeping myself close to on course at least. You can get kind of messy. So I do my tiller lock, and that locks the tiller there. Now I'm taking the bitter end of the sheet-to-tiller line, wrapping it around twice, crossing the main line in. That's a Magnus hitch. And you know, exactly the way I did it is the way you should do it. Then I comb down here and I run it through this last windward block in the cockpit near the tiller. And now I'm going to undo the tiller extension, and now I'm going to wrap it around the tiller here, overlapping wraps, and then I come from the inside and sort of twist a loop on the end. That is how I tie off my sheet-to-tiller line. Now here I am, I'm self-steering. Now, the course may not be perfect, but that's okay. You're just going to loosen it up a little bit, either tighten or loosen, and retie it. Now every time I do this, where I change the jib sheet tension, you're going to have to retie most likely, because doing that changes the whole direction and everything. So you really want to have it all set up first. So here I am doing it again. You don't really want to have to do all this, but it doesn't matter. You're just going to go through the motions. But know that if you're changing the trim of your sails, you're probably going to have to readjust here. Okay, so now we're holding a course. Okay, so can't quite pinch off my 165. I'm close. I'm 160. I can do two things. I can tighten it up, or I can try to double the amount of power the sail has to pull. Which is what I really think probably needs to happen. But I'm going to try one more tightening adjustment. Okay, that did a little better actually. I'm really more on 165 now, which is what I wanted. So as I suspected, I wasn't really able to hold the number on the compass that I wanted to. And after a while, I noticed that the tiller was not moving enough when the wind pulled on the jib. So I decided to finally whip out my tail block and create the 2-to-1 purchase on the sheet-to-tiller line. The control line is tied to the jib sheet, crosses the cabin, and is led through some windward blocks, then through the blue tail block, and then back to the cleat on the windward gunnel. Then I wrap the blue line of the tail block around the tiller. I really only use this 2-to-1 purchase system when I'm doing downwind sheet-to-tiller with a jib. And that's just because the jib is a smaller foresail. And sometimes, not all the time, on certain points of sail and wind speeds, the jib just doesn't have enough power to move the tiller. The 150 Genoa, on the other hand, has plenty of sail area and power to move the tiller. Yeah, she's back on course. The elastic doing its job. Okay, so now I'm doing 150. I want to show you how it changes when you adjust this sheet, your reel sheet, as opposed to your sheet-to-tiller line. Right now, my reel sheet for the jib is up pretty high. Jib's doing great downwind, but you can still steer with this. Right now, the compass says we're doing 170, right? So, if we tighten the jib, will we go closer to 150? That's what I think. So here we go. I'm gonna give it like, that was like 4 inches. Oh my God, we just turned a lot. Maybe 4 inches is too much, because now I'm at 150. Yeah, kind of don't like that, but let's see what it does anyway. 140. I don't know, it feels good on this. Maybe it's a little too tight, so I'm gonna loosen it back up. I hope you found what you were looking for. If you want more sheet-to-tiller videos, please subscribe to my channel. Most of my 40+ videos have examples of different setups. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Peace out.